Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
If we enable administrator, in permissions we can say read, write, and execute. In Unix we have RWX we call, right? Read, write, and execute. Same concept holds good here. By default, admin will have full control, which means they can read, they can write, they can execute. What it means, right? And if owner is default administrator, in case if you want to change the ownership to somebody else, we can always do it. But no, yeah, that's all. And then say what? Okay. So which means on this particular folder, we have got a full control, which is RWX, meaning what? Read, write, and execute. Yeah, clear no? Now see, folder has been created successfully. How we got that message? Go back to this. So what we did, create folder we did, it went to app server, then onto server, power center request service. It would have been stored in this, and we got the response back to request manager, where we could able to see folder has been created successfully. That's all. So now we could able to see complete flow, right? Like theory, like what we discussed, we could able to do it practically. This is how we need to understand. Remember, understand the concept clearly, then represent it by using a tool. That's all. That tool is very, very simple. Yeah? Now, right? Now say okay. So anybody has not got this particular folder creation? Yes, 4 is done, 2 is done, 5 is done, and 4 is done. Fantastic. I think we're on the same page. Yeah, no confusion, right? Anybody has got any questions here? Now, if you look at the properties here, comments, you have not given any comment. Is shared? No, because if we enable that shortcut, right? Shared, yes. In the sense, this physical copy can be used by somebody else. That's what it means. And owner, default owner, which is administrator. We did not change any owner, right? That is why default is what? Administrator. OS profile also we have not used it. That's why it's empty. Yeah. So that's all. Like how one can start establishing connectivity to what? Power center request service, and then create a folder within by using that service, right? That's all. Now let us move on to next flow. Like from another client, how do you build this particular mapping, right? To do that, we need to undergo several steps. We will talk about it one by one. Yeah, this is a long procedure. Yeah, so let us start doing it. First step, how to open up this particular designer. That is what we need to take a look at, right? So to do that, one, can you see here, there's a D button, which indicates what? Designer. I repeat, you can see D button, right? Where I place the mouse pointer in my system. D, right? So if you click on D, it will take you to what? Power Center Designer, right? Click on it. I just clicked on it. So it will open up designer client. Let us wait for some time. 4, I think is you click on it, Ganesh. Yeah, 5 is done, and 3. I would yeah, click on it. Perfect. All are done. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Now we could able to see what? OK button, right? Yeah. Now this is a separate client, right? Yes or no? Now we are into this particular client. This is a designer client, right? No. Now we need to perform action. Before we perform, first connect to repository. Remember, in order to perform any activities within this particular Informatica, right? First, we need to what? Connect to repository. Right click and say connect. Same thing. Copy paste. Administrator. Say connect. Yeah. Now, same folder we could able to see here. If you double click this folder, where we could able to see all the pre-built meta elements under this folder. I repeat, if you double click on this particular extract folder, you could able to see all the pre-built meta elements, which will be derived from Informatica. We have not created them. They themselves would be populated automatically, right? So, yes, double click on this. Yeah, I think you have done it. And 2, I think done. And 5. Yeah, expand, madam. You'll get it. 5. Yeah, perfect. Then yes, 3 is also done. Fantastic. So we are all on the same page. Yeah. Now the next step is what? In order to build the mapping, let me talk about the concept of mapping. Now we need to talk about what is a mapping, right? Mapping means like in order to build ETL flow, we need to create what mapping? Mapping equal to what? ETL. Just remember, very simple. Yeah? So mapping equal to what? ETL. What E contains, what E contains, that's what we are going to see. So we need to build what? E first, then L. Let us start with the load. Yeah? In between only T comes, which is transformation. Yes or no? So this is what I call mapping. So we need to build first E, then L, in between T. That's all we need to do. So this is what I call a mapping, right? Clear now? That's all we need to do. So now let us try to understand like how to build this particular mapping, which simulates the behavior of ETL. To do that, first source part we need to take care. No? So in order, let us, our goal is what? Let us build one requirement. Requirement is what? So look at here scenario. Read the data from a file, and then transfer transfer the same data to what? To a target. Whatever data that we get, right? Same thing we need to transfer. Same to what? Target. Right? That's what we need to do. How to do it? So first, in order to create the data from a file, so we need to create what? A file first with the sample data. Right? Now let us see how to read the data from a file. Yes or no? So that part, let us see that. Then we'll talk about target. We'll talk about step by step. Clear, no? So now, in order to, first step is what? Take care of reader part. We need to create a file. Let us create that. Yeah? So go to start and click on notepad. Right? So empty notepad. Right? So we all could able to see notepad got opened up. Yes or no? So all info 4, please open the notepad. 2, open the notepad. Dinesh. And 5, open is done already. Notepad is there in the top, madam. Just type, go to run, type notepad, that's it. Yeah, select notepad, perfect, madam. So I think 5 is done, 2. Just go to start, run, type notepad, Dinesh. Info 4, yeah, it's already open. Yeah. Dinesh, just click on this notepad. You got it. I've already done it. Yeah, got it, no? Now, let us add sample data here. Yeah. So sample data, let us say, I'll just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I talked about this theory, right? Yeah. Let's I'm just trying to talk about how to convert theory to practical form. Remember, yeah, whatever I talk, right, it's a purely practical oriented. Remember that. Yeah. So I've just added two records, 1 comma 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 5 comma 6. Right. So now, so let us create one folder. Go to my computer, and there is only one drive. You see, and under that, I'll create one folder. Right click and then say new and select what folder. So let's all be here. So you people need to come over here. In the sense, this perfect folder name 42. Yeah. Create data 1 comma 2 comma 3. Dinesh need to be active. So then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
5. So open the notepad. What you are doing, madam? Open the notepad. Here only you can do. And you say save, right? Just click on save here. It will take you to folder. You don't need to go to C drive and create it. Yeah. Save. Then 3. Yeah, perfect, madam. 3, you're on the same page. Now supply what? Select what folder. You can see, no? And supply folder name. I'll just put here that's a source. Correct, no? Source data. We are trying to put it here. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so we can supply what I call the file name. File name, I'll just put what? SEQ underscore 1. SEQ means sequential file. Underscore means one means first file. That's all. Yeah, perfect. 4 is done. Folder name source you can put. 5 source. Yeah, perfect. I'll give the file name, madam. What happened? No, what happened? Yeah, you closed it, huh? It's created, huh? I'm just doing it on your system. 1 comma 2 comma 3, 4 comma 5, 6, and then save it. I think you already did, right? Looks like. So let me verify. C drive. Where is source folder? Not created. Right click and say new and go to folder and supply source. Right? And within that, so we need to what supply file name STQ underscore 1 dot txt. That's all. Priyanka. Done, right, Priyanka? Yes, same thing you need to do here also. Yeah. So supply here and supply the name, which is SEQ1 underscore 1 dot txt. Yes, Sushma? Yeah, let's save it. That's all. Yeah, now it got saved, right? That's all. Dinesh, I think he has done it. And yeah, now 4, I think Dina is done already. That's all. I am done. Next, save it. Click on save. That's all we need to do. Done, right? Now, file is ready. So what is the first step we did? No. So create a file with the sample data is done. Now, how to take care of this read data from a file? So what we need to do? First step, we need to create what? Metadata. So create metadata file, because in order to read data, we need to create metadata, right? So to create metadata, what we need to do? So we need to start making those import plot file definition. You know, I repeat, in order to create metadata for a file, we need to do what? Import plot file definition. Yeah, so that we can create metadata. Let us see how to perform this. Correct, no? So let us go to designer. Yes or no? Go to sources and select what? Import file. Import from file. This is what we are trying to do. Yeah. So import what? Plot file definition we call. Yeah. Done, right? So we can create a definition. Definition means metadata or a structure. There are synonyms. Metadata, structure, or definition. These are all same, huh? No change. Remember, don't get confused. Yeah. Import from file. Select
I
it.
don't see.
Oh, you need to first here. Yeah, you need to first say what make it active. This extract folder. Then we could import the sources menu. You know.
Okay.
Now we can select sources menu. Yeah. Import from
Yep.
file. Done, right? Now same thing. What happened? Yes. Here you need to do Dinesh. Go to sources and select what? Import from file. You can see, no? Dinesh.
Yeah.
Select
I'm
import from
yeah.
file. What happened? File. You are somewhere else, madam. File. You need to go to sources and import from file. Let's be here. Let's be here. Okay? So let me show it
I'm already
from
there,
my
sir.
system.
Mine is file.
Okay, fine. Now click on import from file. Whatever. So click the. Now we need to supply that location where we have created a file, right? Go to my computer. Click on C drive. Yeah. Now within that we created one folder, right? Which is what? Source folder. Correct? No. Now we cannot see our file because file of type only dat files can be seen default. Instead of that, you can select what? All files here. You can see, no? In drop down, you can see all files. Yeah. So now we could able to see our file, which is sp21.txt.
I'm actually not seeing that. Probably I gave that source folder as SS capital one, so it's not taking, I believe.
No, doesn't matter. No. File of type here. Can you see? I am doing it in your system only. All files.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Okay.
we can.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Now say, oh, I think Priyanka is ahead of me. One sec, Priyanka, we will reach to your stage. Yeah. So now selected SCQ1, right? All done, I think, right? Perfect. Yeah, I think Dina is also done. I am a bit behind. Let me do it now. Say okay, right? Yes, now I am in same place. Now can you see here? File could delimited or fixed with. Yeah, I think fixed with normally mainframe users are experts, right? Mainframe normally, if you want to read the data from mainframe, you need to go to fixed with, right? So, but let us say our data is what? Delimited file data. One comma is delimited, right? That's why we can use what? Delimited file. Yeah. Enter the name of the source. Let it be same thing. If you want to supply your own meaningful thing, we can do it. Or else, let's go with the same name as the source so that we would not get confused. Yeah. And there is, can you see checkbox here? Import field names from first line. In case if the input file has got header in the first line, then we don't have any header, right? We have got only data. In that case, we don't need to enable this particular box, checkbox. Yeah. But in case if we have header in the first line, right, then we can just click on it. See, after enabling this, we can see only one row because we have data, right? So first line should not be treated as what? Header in our case. And now another property is what? Start import a row number 1, which means right from the first row, we are treating it as what? Data row. So in case, let us say the input file has got first few lines have been reserved for description, like what this particular file does, and followed by actual data. For example, first 10 lines are containing, let us say, description. From 11, let's say data line starts. So we need to supply 11 in that case. Yeah, that's one scenario, right? And click on next. So here we could able to say format specifies. Can you see here in the top we have got delimiters, have semicolon, comma, space, others. So in case if you want delimiter other than tab, semicolon, comma or space, right, then you can enable the checkbox and type in your delimiter like a pipe symbol or any other symbol, right, or any other delimiter. So in our sample data, we have got a comma as a separator. So we need to enable this particular comma checkbox. That's all we need to do. Clear now? I think we're all on the same page, right? Yeah. Anybody has got confusion here? No, right? So far so good, I guess. Yeah. So now other properties. Use default length. So by default text length is 256. In case you want to change it to anything other than that, we can change it. So let it be default. It will allow what? Up to 256 characters. And text qualifier means enclosure. Remember, don't get confused with text qualifier separate keyword. Text qualifier means what? Enclose. Enclose means what? Let's see if we have a data, field data. That's a name. Do you want to enclose the complete name data in double quotes or single quotes or no quotes? Yeah. Let's say by default double quotes, which each field value will be enclosed with what? Double quotes and it transfer the data. Yeah. That is the best practice to what I call enclose within double quotes for each field. The reason is what happens is sometimes when you supply a name, we'll supply a complete name or full name, right? Which contains the first, middle, last, and salutation. In that case, each part of this part of the name, that's a first name space, second name space, sorry, middle name space, last name space, salutation. So each has got separator as what space. So so what will happen? It will treat that as a separate separator, which will create a confusion. To avoid that, what you'll do is if you put a double quotes in between the full name, so that complete data, which is first, middle, last, and salutation, will be treated as what? Name. So that is why it's always advisable to use double quotes. Though we got single digit or single character data for today's business, during later point in time, there is a chance to get what? More than one character. So that you don't need to go and correct that problem. So if you just try to take care of it at the early stages of this design, so we don't need to, we will not face any problem in future, right? So that's it. And treat consecutive delimiters as one. In case if you have multiple consecutive, comma, comma, as one, because empty data, right? You don't need to waste space. That's where we go for it. If you want multiple delimiters as and, so let's say comma and comma, you can also do it. And escape characters, meaning what? There could be some special characters which need to be skipped out while transferring data to a target. For example, there could be some junk characters like apostrophe or any other special characters which need to be skipped out because there are junk characters, right? We don't need to transfer the data of junk characters to a target. If you want that, we can supply those characters with a comma separator so that wherever it encounters such kind of what you call special characters, right, or junk characters, right, they'll be taken out while transferring data. Yeah. So that's it. After that, you can click on next. Right now, we're all here, right? For yeah, click on next. All you need to click on next. Yeah, step by step we'll do it. So now here you can see field 1, field 2, field 3. So because we have not added any header to our sample data, right? So here we can supply our own field names. Let us supply, let us say C1. I just supplied C1 first field, and I again selected second field, and I'll supply what C2 here, and then third field I select it here and supply what? C3. Just to make it very simple, I'm just giving what short names C1, column 1, column 2, column 3. That's it. Yeah. And length is what? By default is 1. You know, let it be 1. Clear, no? All done, no? Naming C1, C2, C3. Perfect. I think 2 is done, 4 is done, all are done. I think 3 she is doing it. Yeah. Select field 2, madam. Field 2. Yeah, perfect. And C2 you can supply. Perfect. All done, right? Click on finish. That's all. Yeah. So with this, we could able to see source definition has been created. That's what I talked about as part of theory. To create metadata, what we did, import flat file definition. We have already done it. Result of that is what? Definition which has been created. No? So which can be seen as part of what? Source analyzer we call. Can you see here? This tool is what we call source analyzer. So within the source analyzer, it creates what? Source definition for flat file. That's what we did. Definition means what? Structure. Like for example, in database we have DDL, DML, right? Yes or no? So DDL is what? Definition. Like for create table, table name, followed by list of column, column type, all that. That's equivalent of that, like what we did. This is just a drag drop, but in database we type it. That's all. That's only one change. Clear? No? Clear, right?
Yeah, I have one doubt,
Yeah.
Lakshman.
Yes, please.
So actually we import the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means numbers we import, right? But here output is same metadata, right?
Yeah. So, very good question. Remember, what we are trying to do here is, see, when I talked about theory in, I think yesterday, uh, if you want to read any data, say 1, 2, 3, yeah. So we need to. Our goal is what? Reading data. How do you read data? So we need to have what? Metadata. Yes or no? If you want to read
Yeah.
the data, we have to have metadata. So what we did, based on this particular data, we created metadata by using what? Import file, and then we supplied column names like a C1, C2, C3 with appropriate type integer. That's what we did, Dina. So which means if you want to read the data, we have to have metadata. So that metadata we created. Metadata, definition, structure, and these are all synonyms. Don't get confused. Clear, no?
So you mean to say only if we have the data we can create metadata?
Yeah, that's the one thing, not necessary. So which means the reason why we did this was, if we create metadata based on existing data, we don't make any mistake with respect to what number of columns and type and so on. But if you want to create metadata without that, also we can create. Let us say that we'll do that example. Let us start doing it. Go to sources, and can you see here? Create. Yeah. This is what I call creating metadata from the scratch. So in this case, assuming that we don't have any data file that we got from the source. Clear, no? So click on create. Now supply what, first select what database type as what file we need to select here. So let us select file somewhere. You can just type instead of scrolling. Now, can you see your flat file? Done, right? Flat file is selected. Then supply, let us say SCQ underscore source based on what? Scratch. Clear, no? Scratch means we are doing it from the scratch, from the beginning. Got, no? Now, yeah, supply this. So we'll create it anyway, no? Because you asked question, right? I'll show it practically. Yeah? Dina and others start doing it. Yeah, yeah, Dina is done, and info 2, Dinesh, and info 5, Sushma, you need to do it. Yeah? And last, yes, you need to do. You also need to do it. Priyanka. Yeah? Go to sources. Go to sources menu. Select what? Create. Can you see create here button? Menu, sorry, menu item, and supply file name here, which is, let us say, whatever, SCQ underscore file from scratch. What happened? Why you open Explorer directly? Why? Fine, scratch. I think I did it. Huh? Yeah, that's it. Now here you need to supply database type as what? flat file. That's all I need to do. Yeah?
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
That's it. And then say what? Click on create. You can just click on create button, Priyanka. Perfect, madam. Type F, madam. Sushma. Type F in vjam so that you'll get flat file. No, you don't need type there. And a database type only. And database type drop down, type F, you'll get flat file. Type F. Yeah. F. Yeah, we got it. Now, yes, database name. Now you can type SQL file scratch. You can just copy it. Yeah. So that is done. I think 2 is also done. 4 is also perfect. Now let me also click on create button. Yeah. Now we're done. Now you got empty definition, right? So here you need to go and add what columns. You got procedure, right, Dina? Now let us start doing it. So right click on this particular title bar. I repeat, right click on this particular title bar. Yeah, all of you. I repeat, select this and right click. Yeah. And select what? Edit button. Edit menu. So here we need to click on what? Column. Yeah. So here we don't have any columns. So we need to start adding columns. We're all on the same page. Huh? Dina is here and Dinesh is here. Very, very fantastic. All are same page. Fantastic. Now click on add. Can you see add a new column to this table? Click on it. Yeah. And supply, let us say, we'll put column name as C1 first. Yeah. And add one more column. Click on this button again. Then supply second column, let's say C2. And add this button again and supply the column name as what? C3. That's all. Yeah. So this is what we need to do, like how to add columns. Yeah. All done. Yeah. Supply name C1, C2, C3, whatever. Dina. Yeah. Say okay, and then you don't need to do okay. Click on this again. Add one more column here. Yeah. What if your system is done or what? Not responding. Dina. Yeah. 2 is done. 5 is also done. And yes, type C3, madam. Priyanka. I think 4 some problem, right? Dina, are you there? Your system is down or what? Dina, you are there, huh? Amma, I can't access. Yeah, 2 is done, I think. Your systems are accessible, right? So after that, say okay. So you can hear me, right? Dinesh, Sushma, and Priyanka. Looks like Dina is not there. Dina, are you there? Others?
Yeah,
Any
we
problem
are.
from my side? You're all there, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear
So
you.
I think Dina, I can't. Dina, are you there? No, I think Dina looks like he's not there. Dina, looks like you are there,
Yeah,
but
I had a
yours is
power cut here. Yeah.
okay. So fine.
But,
So that's fine. So
so you just did what is that?
yeah,
You just
added
created
columns.
those columns.
Dina.
Okay.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. Just click on add and start adding those columns. Yeah, fine, right? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you can just apply names. Yeah? Whatever name that you want, you can apply. Yeah? So that's a fantastic. All done. Yeah. So far so good, right? This is how we create this answer to a question, like how to create our own definition from the scratch. In this case, we did not refer any file, right? Yes or no? Instead, we have done it from the scratch. Now, what is the problem with this? Problem is what? Let us say the type is what, string, but let's our source file is what, numeric. So we need to take care of type also. And next issue is what, length. What we expect here from the source, we need only 1 digit, but here by default it will create with 10 characters. So that also we have to take care. So these kinds of mistakes we make when you create our own definition from the scratch. You got the problem, right, Dina? Right? But if you are sure about all the elements of metadata, like a name, type, length, and other properties also, like a scale, precision, description, extended meta attributes, and so on. Yeah, if you are sure about all these properties, then we can also create it from the scratch. So to avoid this confusion, right? So what we could do is, if you already have a file, import a file to create a definition, so that rest will be taken care by itself. If you have a header, right, in that file, even header also will be taken care by this tool. If you enable that checkbox, which we discussed, right? Yes or no? You got no? The benefit of creation of a definition is from an existing file. Yeah. Does it answer question, Dina?
Yeah. But in real life, so how we will create the metadata?
So same thing, first one. Normally we get some flat file sample data from the business. Then we create metadata based on existing. That's what is the best practice. That's what we need to ask also customer. If they don't supply, also ask customers to supply. If they say that, no, this is what we'll have it, in a vague way, right? But the problem is, if they supply 10 fields, 10 fields, what are the right types? What is the right length? What is the precision? What is the scale? All that we have to take care. So with the assumption, if you do, right, there is a chance to make a mistake. So that we can avoid it if you have a sample data from the customer side, Dino. Yeah. Yeah. So best practice I'm talking about, but we can create it. I've shown it, right, how to create it. Yeah. This is the first step, like how to create what definition. Yeah, this is done. Now target part. Let's move on to target. Yeah, our goal is what? We are trying to create this particular stuff. Yeah, which one? This one. To do that, this part is done. Read data from a file. We created a file. We read the data from a file. To do that, we created metadata. Till this is done already. Now we need to move on to what next one. This is a target. So how to transfer data to a target, right? So for that, here what we need to do, again we need to create a target. So target definition should be created, and this particular target definition can be created based on existing file expectation, or we can also create from the scratch. Yeah, create it from the scratch, or we also have got one more option. We can also create it from existing source definition. You got right? Which means if you already have a definition which is created in a source, right? In a target, let us see if you expect same thing, we can also create it. Create means what? Create a target. That's what it means. Yeah. Got no? One, from the file we can create. Second, we can also create it from the scratch like what we did just now. And third, we can also create it from the source definition. Source means like what we did first example, right? Let us start doing it. Example, right? First step, need to go to what? Target designer. Can you see here? Click on target designer, second button here. You can see, right? This is the workspace, target designer workspace that we are going to use in order to create what target definition or definitions. Yeah. So which is what we are going to do now. Yeah. So let us start doing it. Yeah. You're all in target designer, right? Anybody is not here? So click on this target designer, Tina, second button here. Can you see here this one? So yeah, I think Dinesh is done. Sushma is done. Frank is done. Fantastic. Now, so let us go to what? Targets menu. Can you see here? There's a targets menu. Yeah. So earlier example, what we did? Source. Now we move to what? Target. Now we are focusing on how to create a definition in the target perspective. Right? So for that, one example which I said was first one, theory, right? So theoretical, what I said, from existing file we can create. Let us start doing it. Yeah. So import from file, same thing like what we did with the source, right? Same thing. Let us say we are going to create this target definition based on what? Existing source file. Yeah. Create, select same thing here, same procedure, no change. Yeah. Like what we did earlier, right? Click on next and click on next. Let the fields let us, I'll just put here T1 underscore TGT, and field 2 I'll just put here T2 underscore TGT, right? And then field 3 I'll just put here T3 underscore TGT, right? This is what we need to supply, right? So supply the names of these target fields. Yeah. Yeah, all done, huh? Yeah, let me check this. 4 is done, 2 is done, 5. What happened? Click on targets. You have not selected targets. Import from file and go to these sources. Now you can select Susma. File type is
No,
what?
I've already done, right? I've already done.
Who's where?
5
But
it is
names,
showing on my
yeah, but you have given names as same as source, right?
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, fine. So what you can do is you can just edit. You want to change, no, later on also, right? You can go here and change the names here. Susma, you can do it. C1 underscore TGT, you can go. Yeah.
T1, T2, T3, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, C1 underscore TGT. Correct, no?
T1, okay,
So
target.
and
Okay.
then C2 underscore TGT. Yeah. So C2
Okay, okay.
underscore TGT. You can do C3, madam. Yeah. Fine. And then say okay. So yes, I think she has done it. Priyank is done. So that's it. All done, right? Fantastic. Let me just say finish. That's all. Yeah. So with this, we know how to create what this particular target definition. Yeah. Now next, let us say by default we have what? SEQ underscore 1, right? If you want to change that name, how do you do it? Yeah. Like Sushma brought out good things. He has already created with one thing. Later on, how to modify. So for that, right click on this particular SEQ underscore 1 and click on edit, where we can rename this name. Rename. Can you see rename button here? Click on rename so that we can put the name here. Let's say SEQ underscore TGT. Yeah. Or I'll put here SEQ1 underscore TGT. Yeah. Underscore 1 underscore TGT. Which means what? For sequential file 1 is a target definition. Yeah. Clear, right? Renaming that target. Yeah, perfect. 2 is done. And yes, perfect. 5. Click on rename button, Sushma. This one. Supply the name now. Yeah. Sushma, now you can supply the name. I've already clicked on it. Now you can supply the name.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. I think, yeah, she has get it already. I think Sushma, Priyank is a bit ahead of us. So, yeah, now say okay. Right? Done, right? That's it. And then say apply. And then okay. That's it. That's it. Now now with this we know how to rename even after creation also. I've just shown it. That's all. Yeah. Now the next is what theory, what we discussed, create it from the scratch, like what we did for this source definition, right? Same way here also we can also create it from the scratch. For that, go to targets, select what create. That's it. Yeah. Now supply the name here. So before that, select what flat file. Yeah, select flat file. Which is yes. The flat file you need to select and supply the name over here. Let us say seq_1_tgt from what? Scratch. tgt from scratch. STRATTH. Yeah, that's it. And click on create. That's all we need to do. Done. Now we give the name. After that, we can add column. I'm just trying to show it a bit fast because we have already done kind of example earlier, right? Yeah, edit. Click on edit. Now edit. Yeah, we can start adding column. Right click on this. Click on what? Edit. Now go to column and add columns. Yeah? We can just add columns here. Let's say whatever column follow. Let's say C1_tgt and then T2_tgt. Right? And then T3_tgt. Right? That's it. Yeah? This is what we need to do. And then say okay. That's all. Yeah. So this is a second option. Yeah? 4 is done, and yeah, and click on column, Dinesh. Yes. Click on add button here. Here. You can see mouse pointer, right? Click on this. Yeah. Now supply the name Dinesh. 5, I think she has done it, and Priyanka is doing. Supply the names, madam. Priyanka. You can put C1_tgt. Double click. Yeah, double click and supply the names. C1_tgt. You can type for Priyanka. Yeah, I think 4 is done. 4 is done. Dinesh, yeah, you are doing right. Yes. Add some more, 2 more columns. Dinesh, click on once again. Click on this button.
Yeah.
Supply C2_tgt.
It is stuck.
It's stuck. Huh? Okay.
It's very slow here. Yeah, that's the reason.
Your
Maybe
mouse
I
is very
think your
working very
internet
fast.
might be slow.
Bottom my mouse is going in another way.
Yeah, see, if your internet is fast, no, it will be fast. Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. And second reason will be what? If the server is slow, also it will be slow. One of these. Yeah. So mine is fast means yours also should be fast because we are using same environment. Yeah. Done, right? All.
Maybe we are using within HVD. That's the reason. Maybe. We are already in
Might
the
be, I
VM.
don't.
Another VM we are.
Okay. Right. So, but anyway, I think performance is not poor. Yeah. Type the name, Dinesh. Taking time, huh? Yeah, I think
Yeah, it is taking
Ashma is
time.
done, and Priyanka is done, and Dinesh is also done. Except Dinesh. What happened, Dinesh? You need to have a breakfast plan, Dinesh.
Actually, my system is very stuck. It is working very slow.
Yeah. The internet, right? What you can do is simple. I think we have Geo Airtel, right? That's enough. No? So 1 GB, 1.1 GB, 2 GB. That's more than enough. That's what I'm using. My system is quite fast. Double click, Dinesh. It's not responding, huh? And let me do it. I could able to do it.
Yeah.
See, C2TGT. So C2TGT, I typed it, and then I'm adding one more column, so which indicates what your internet is slow. Dinesh, T3TGT. So I could able to do it from my system, right? Meaning what? Because this issue is what? Internet issue. Clear? Yeah, that's simple. Yeah.
Internet is.
So now third option, right? I think all done, right? Next, create it from existing source definition. Yeah, it's a third way, right? Different ways I'm trying to show so that based on the context we can use like whatever you want. Yeah. Now, third option is what? Create it from the source. To do that, what we need to do? Expand this source definition. Expand, let's say, platform, whatever. And then, can you see here? Just drag and drop and place it onto what? Target workspace. Over. Very simple. What I did, I just went
I'm
into.
sorry. What is that I
I'm
need to
repeating.
do? Drag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to sources. Click sources, madam. First one. Yeah.
Okay.
And expand flat file. Yeah. Under that, you can say SE1. Yes or no? Yeah. And then what we need to do? Drag and drop it here. I have already done it here, right? That's if I do it again, I'll get a message saying that it's already there. Do you want to rename all of it? I'm just canceling because I've already done it. Done, right? That's it. This is third way, like how to create a target definition by using target designer. Yeah. So yes, all done. So Dina is done, Dinesh is done, Sushma is done, and Frank is done. Yes, we're on the same page. Fantastic. Yeah. Now the next step. Let's go back to our requirement. So let's go back to our requirement. What is our requirement? This one, right? So in order to create a mapping, what we did first, E is done. Source part is also done, right? Now build a mapping. So third step is pending, right? So now we need to write it here. Yeah? Create a mapping based on what? So use first step. Use mapping designer, right? And second, drag source definition, yeah, and drag and drop target definition, yeah, and then connect, yeah, connect source and target. So this is what it called mapping, yeah. So which means, so first we need to select what mapping designer tool, then drag and drop source definition to mapping designer workspace, then drag and drop what target definition to mapping designer workspace, then connect source and target, which indicates what? It's a mapping. That's it. Yeah. Connecting source to a target. Yeah. Simple example. Connectivity from source to a target or source transformation to a target. Whatever. This is what we call ETR. Yeah. EL I'm talking about. Yeah. Logically, we go with what? E, T, and L. This is connectivity. This link, you can see, right? Line with arrow. So line with arrow indicates what? A link. Why we need a link here? Link is a media through which we can transfer data from one to another. What is one to another here? One is this and second is this. That's it. So we transfer data from E to what? T. Again, second. Again we transfer data from T to what? L. Yeah. This is second transfer part, right? So this is one thing, one transfer. Line with arrow indicates a link. Second link. This is what? First link, which transfer data from E extract to what? Transfer. That's all we are going to do as part of what? Mapping. Yeah. Let us start following this theory. Yeah. Step by step. Blindly we should follow these steps. We don't need to think too much. Yeah. So first, select what? Mapping designer. Can you see here? Third one. Click on mapping designer. Done, huh? All. That's the first step we need to do in order to build the new mapping. Yeah? Done. Now, so drag and drop what? Source. See, I did it. So we need, it's asking for mapping name. So you can supply mapping name. Let us say we supply mapping underscore source underscore target. Right? I repeat, supply mapping underscore source underscore target. Right? So mapping underscore source underscore target. Yeah. So that is what we can supply. Yeah. So I request all of you to do the same thing. Then it's done. You already supplied name. Huh? You are a bit ahead of me, right? Dinesh, you need to do it, madam.
How did you arrive at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Click on
how did
drag
you?
and drop. Now supply the name. What I did was I just
Okay.
dragged and dropped one. Sushma, yeah?
Okay. What
Now
is the mapping
Priyanka,
name?
mapping underscore source underscore target. Yeah.
Mapping underscore source underscore target TGT.
Yeah, I gave full name TARGET, whatever. That's fine. Anything is. And then say okay. Done, right? So with this, we could able to see source definition dragged. Yeah? So we got right. So that's the first step. We have done it as part of theory. So first mapping design we selected and drag and drop source definition. Right. Next is what? We need to drag and drop target definition also. That's the next step, no? Yes or no? So to do that, we need to go to this particular targets. Yeah. So we need to drag and drop target definition. Means target definition should have been already created, which we already did it. Right. Now expand this target and select, let us say, whatever target that we have. Let's say SEQ1 underscore target. Just dragging and dropping over here. That's it. Over. Yeah, drag and drop we need to do. So that's a third step we are trying to do now. Yeah. Yeah. Dina is done and Dinesh is done. Sushma, where is your source definition event, madam?
Yeah, the other one I'm not seeing I did that. I just dragged and dropped from the target. Okay, this one, yeah. The
Source
first
where
one,
it
yeah.
went? Yes, here.
It just disappeared, yeah.
It was there, huh? Is it lying somewhere or what? That's fine. Let us
Yeah,
see.
probably.
Anyway,
Yeah,
anyway, you can see both now, right? Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
So now all of us, I think we're all on the same page. Now let us try to connect. Now, which is what source and target. Yeah. Remember, in Informatica, right? Whenever we drag and drop the source definition, what happens? Corresponding source qualifier will be added by Informatica automatically. Yeah? The source qualifier is what I call one of the transformation within Informatica. Why we need it? I'll talk about it. For now, you can just remember that whenever we drag and drop source definition, automatically corresponding source qualified would get added. Just remember that line. Yeah? What is the importance of this? I'll talk about it in the next example. Because if I talk about too many things, first example, that you'll get confused. Yeah? Let us not get into it. Yeah? So now, the next is what? We need to connect source and target. Correct, no? So that is going to be the next step. How to connect? So can you see here? This is a source. So select this one of the column, drag and hold the mouse point, left mouse pointer, and get into target and release the mouse.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.